Get ready for an electrifying episode of Sales Transformation, featuring the dynamic duo of Colin Mitchell and Larry Long Jr. In this episode, Larry shares his insights on thriving in tough times and achieving outstanding sales results. So grab your pen and paper, because this episode is packed with actionable strategies to level up your sales game. Let's dive in and transform the way you sell.
Today, I've got a special guest with you. He's an energy powerhouse, none other than Larry Long Jr. He's an exceptional sales coach behind the Larry Long Jr. Experience. With over 6 years of experience, he'll help you accelerate productivity and achieve outstanding sales results. Get ready for a high voltage episode filled with actionable insights and motivation. Larry, welcome to the show. How you doing?
What's going on, Colin? Happy to be here, man. We're talking about sales transformation. I'm in the right place, the right spot, with the right person. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Is this your second or third time being on the show? I can't even remember. There's a few people like you, Larry, that tend to make their way back to the show many times because you always got something fresh and exciting to talk about. But what's new with you? And then let's get into the topic that we planned out 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's new with me is, well, I've had the honor and the privilege to step into the podcast world, kind of like you, from the other side as a host. I've been a guest extraordinaire, but I'm learning how challenging it can be and how rewarding it can be to pass the mic to someone else. So I'm happy to be here. Today's topic is spot on, and it's so timely. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about how to thrive in tough times, right? I think a lot of sellers, a lot of sales organizations, that did well when times were good, are realizing that we really aren't as good as we thought we were. What the heck is going on? And how do we, still grow and be successful when times aren't as easy as they used to be? So I know you have some thoughts on that, and then we're going to dig in and I'll have some questions for you.
Man, I got some big thoughts. And essentially, I have so many thoughts, I wrote a book about it. And I've had the honor and the privilege of sharing this with sales professionals, business professionals, students, just all around the world. And when the going gets tough, Colin, I believe tough people are greater than tough times. But oftentimes, and this was chapter 1 of my book, oftentimes we tell ourselves a story and we believe the hype. In the words of the great philosophers, Public Enemy and Flavor Flav, don't believe the hype. We're telling ourselves a story of fake news. I'll never forget, there's a story that I'll tell you. Sonia McBride, she was one of my reps at a company called Channel Advisor. Summertime in e-commerce normally gets slow. Well, everyone subscribes to that. It's slow. No one hits their goal. I can't have success. Well, guess what? Those people talking that junk, they didn't hit their goals. They didn't have success. Sonia said, you know what? I ain't about that life. I ain't about that BS that y'all are talking about. She said, I'm going to sniff the opportunity and find my way to having success. Well, guess what? Auto parts never go out of style. It doesn't matter if it's summertime, wintertime, spring, or fall. She was calling on third-party auto part resellers and killing the game. Everyone had the opportunity. She seized that opportunity and was able to thrive. So yes, sales professional, a sales leader, and are we doing those things? There's 2 other points. I just wanted, it's a 7-chapter book, but I just wanted to give you 4. The next one is strikeouts. They're a part of life. And a lot of times people look at it. I got to grab my pink baseball bat. People say, oh, no, I don't want to strike out. Oh, I'm scared to strike out. So they don't even go to bat. You got to go to bat and give it a shot. If you strike out, I'm not saying good, but it's an opportunity for you to learn. We either win or we learn. And I would say we either win and or learn. I like to win, and I also like to learn. If I don't win, I'm going to learn a lesson. The last one is the company that you keep. You are what you consume. You probably heard me say this, Colin. If you are what you eat, that must make me a fried chicken sandwich, because what time is it? It's bow time. But what are you consuming? Who are you surrounding yourself with? I think you just told me the story about how you've put yourself in a situation where you and your family are surrounded by just some amazing individuals, families that are super supportive. Well, it's the same thing for us in sales, in business, and in life. Are we surrounding ourselves with those folks that empower us, encourage us, challenge us, cheer us on? Hercules, Hercules! Or are we around negative Nancy's, negative Nellies, negative Neds? Oh no!
Yeah. Oh man. All right. There's a lot to unpack there, but I think
Woo.
let's start with where you left off there, because I think that it's important for sellers to think like, what are you consuming? What noise are you, because when you're not hitting your number, it's very easy to want to gravitate towards everybody who's saying, yeah, times are tough. It's hard out there. Nobody's hitting quota. Winning 20% of your deals is acceptable today. And so if you're constantly feeding yourself, then that is all that's doing is creating this vicious cycle of you being able to justify losing more often than you're winning.
That's right. And it's within our control. For everyone out there, I encourage you. I've got two things for you. Number one, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself the tough question. We're in sales, so we should be used to asking the tough questions. I want you to ask this question of yourself and be honest. What's holding you back? And you can say either what or you can say who. Now, I should have been a lawyer because I already know the answer to that. I'm asking questions, I already know the answer. The second part is, when are you going to, in the words of the other great philosopher, Luda, when are you going to move and get out your own way? Stop blocking your success with these whack, I don't know if HR is listening, but these whack big thoughts that aren't real. It's fake news. The opportunity is out there. Are there some real challenges? For sure.
Yeah.
But are there some real opportunities for you to go out there and be successful? For sure. I'm seeing it. I'm talking to folks that are having success. So don't tell me that it's impossible, because I am a wordsmith. And if you dissect the word impossible, it actually spells out I am possible. Chew on that.
And I think that, the important thing to realize is that it is possible to win and be successful in today's environment. It just looks a little different than it used to be, right? You got to be sharp. You got to be on your game. You got to be targeting the right people with the right message, and you got to be able to build a good business case to be able to get a deal across the finish line, and I've been listening to Andy Paul's new podcast quite a bit lately. I'm a podcast guy, and there's few podcasts out there where I'm waiting for that next episode to drop. And Andy's new show, the Win Rate Podcast, is one of those. And it's a lot of the recent episodes have been around the fact that, what does it mean to be a top seller? Well, it means winning more than you lose. And if you look in B2B tech and B2B SaaS, most teams are okay with a 20 to 30% win rate, which means they're losing way more often, right? And as you know, Larry, before I joined, here at Leadium, I have an 86% win rate. And before that, when I was the head of sales over at a fast-growing tech company, when times were the toughest, I still managed to eke out a 250K quarter and build 1.5 million in pipe when everybody was saying, oh, nobody's buying. So I know it's possible. And frankly, when you mentioned people to look in the mirror, if you're looking in the mirror and all that's coming back at you is excuses, then there's a problem.
Big time. And I love you sharing your experience with success. I always attribute, this is just me personally, my success to trying to, and I haven't mastered it, but really focusing on the basics. I didn't play football, but I think they call it the blocking and the tackling. Playing basketball, it's the dribbling with your head up, both hands, the passing, the shooting form. In baseball, which is my jam, it's having that good athletic position. Well, in sales, in business, and in life, we've got to be doing the very basics. And for everyone, you should understand what are the basics to filling the funnel, building pipeline. What are the activities that you need to be doing to be successful? I just had a conversation earlier with one of my former colleagues, the Birdman. What happened to that boy, Nathan Bird? And he used to rate, I'll never forget, he used to grade himself every day on 5 KPIs. Number 1, did he make 50 phone calls? If he did, 20%. Did he send 50 emails? If he did, 20%. Was he able to find at least 2 net new prospects to add to the CRM? 20%. Was he able to book 1 actual scheduled demo? 20%. And then the kicker is icing on the cake. This is to be 100% day. Did he deliberately take time out to learn? You just talked about being a connoisseur, a consumer of others' podcasts. That's amazing, Colin, because you're in the podcast game. To hear you say that you intentionally go out and you listen to specific podcasts to learn, that tells me that you've got a growth mindset. Now, I also want to challenge folks to have a growth mindset coupled with an action mindset. My father ran track, my sister ran track. On your mark, get set, go. We got to take action. I just came back from a convention, over 1,100 professional speakers in Orlando, and I took a ton of notes. But Larry, I had to ask myself, Larry, what you going to do with these notes? How are you going to put it into action?
Yeah. I think that's where a lot of people fall short, right? Because you can be the Mr. Hey, I read 5 books a month. But if you retain nothing and put nothing into action, reading those books ain't going to help you.
Thanks for tuning in. Please don't forget to like and share so we can help more people transform the way they sell.